This is Justin AMZN on Wednesday, December 11th, 2019. Take a look at the daily first. And from what I talked about yesterday, looking for a move back up into 1747, we got that. And it looks, these two, today and yesterday, look really, okay, pretty much the same as these two candles from a couple weeks ago. I guess what we just need to wait and see is, will we get a bullish retest gap tomorrow that looks like that, or anything that would run into the 21, and that would mean running into about 1762, and that would really correspond well with this downtrend line. It's left over from other channels, but I mean that's a clear target if we have a continuation bullish. We did gap up, and we opened and closed above yesterday's bearish candle. So it's looking a little bit bullish here. Dipped a little bit below 1747, and we'll just see if it'll rally from here. If not, the stage is still set that we could get a gap down and take out the lows here and continue lower, and possibly do that quickly. But there are some other pivots in the way here. Diving in the 5 minutes, so I was able to invert this line. So I was able to just copy it and then flip the values, and it flipped the angle. Instead of this up angle, it flipped to a down angle, and this looks like kind of a rhombus shape. So it looks right. But anyway, this is what I was trying to draw the other day, where we were right into this level, and then this level, and then this level, and then look at today, right back into it, and actually pushed a little bit above, and we're above it after hours. Haven't been above this price since going back to the 19th, and I guess really just not the 19th, I'm sorry, the 29th, and then the 2nd. Is that? Let's see, the 2nd. Oh yeah, that was, yeah, that's right. Because November only has 30 days. There you go. All right. So when I was looking at this and just kind of following this along, I also noticed that, what if instead of the triangle shape, because I mean it's not exactly a clean triangle now that it's a bit below 1747, and so I just kind of threw this in, and it kind of fits. It's actually a pretty good fit. You got some lows in here and in here, and dip tiny bit below here, and then here. It gets into all these lows. Well, what this makes essentially is lower highs and shallower lower lows, and this makes a wedge, and it has the potential to break out here or soon. It's a little easier to see on a different time frame, like if we're looking at maybe a 30-minute, and these other lines are just going to jump. So let's see what this does. Yeah, so this is a lot easier to see. Just ignore all these lines. I'll have to get rid of those soon. But I kind of have this downtrend channel drawn here now, and then these lower lows, and actually the way that this line jumped, because I don't know if it snapped to some values, or if it's just, I think it's just sitting on some numbers up here. But anyway, this looks even more like a wedge that's already breaking out from today. And so I guess that's the question: what if it does? What if a wedge that tends to break in, a downward wedge like this breaks bullish? I don't know the percentage. I can make one up, maybe 80% of the time. I don't know. But what if it does that? It's shaping up similar to what we saw here, just the two candles we have yesterday and today down here. And then add to that, there's the potential of the wedge breaking bullish. I mean, we could see another rally like this one, and it just means we're channeling. And I mean, that's great. That makes it really easy to play the levels. Again, I was looking for 1747 to hold, and it didn't. So now I'm looking, okay, what else is going on here? If it's just making lower lows, lower highs, okay, it should continue to roll over. Well, now it's got this level that it's shallower. We're consolidating here, And I would expect to see a bit more consolidation and some more of a squeeze forming. So we're seeing a little bit of that. I may need to turn, yeah, a lot more of a squeeze here. And it looks like the squeeze is actually breaking bullish if you look at it on hourly. So there's something going on here where we've consolidated. Yep, here's a 4-hour squeeze. Okay, so it's just a matter now of time of what are we going to do? Are we going to break bullish? Wow, this looks great too. This running right into the 21, it's really similar to what it did here. And then the next day gapped up, opened up, and ran. I would like to see a rally tomorrow and then get into that right out the gate, or give me a small 3-minute high wave candle, something like that, or a small retest and continue bullish. But yeah, that's really the potential we're setting up for tomorrow to do something directionally. It seems like the stage has been set here, but know your risk and get into the trade appropriately for your plan. So, all right, let's jump into the 5-minute a little bit here. I'm going to leave the lines in here in case it does actually do something, but really large opening candles, a nice little consolidation triangle here, broke down, a rest after battle, breaks down again, and then it was just really quiet into, I think, an FOMC thing here. Uh-oh, hang on, I'm going to check, the recording is still going? Okay, hang on, I got to pause the recording and check something. Hang on. Okay, that only took a minute, but I just had a light flicker that I'm using at my desk. I thought it was more of a power outage, which would cause the internet to not work, and then I would lose the recording. So I just had to make sure everything was fine. I think it's just the light. After all that, anyway, we rested really, really just rested at about noon, and then there was, let's see, there was a FOMC announcement today at 1 or something, but we were already moving really nicely bullish by that time. So I think, normally there's some quiet into it. And then today we actually broke bullish before the announcement. And then when the announcement hit, we just continued and pushed even higher, ran right into the high of the day, pushed right into 1747, and then consolidated up in here a little bit, got a little false breakout, came right back into 1747, and then ended up with a little bit of a rally right into the close. And this also has me thinking, okay, all of this was after an announcement. All of this got above and stayed above the previous high in the day. And, look at this massive candle. There's just a lot of buying right here. And then to see us take that high out later in the day after this kind of announcement, it kind of freed up any concern, I guess, that something was going to happen. So anyway, seeing this as kind of a bigger consolidation, there's not really a triangle shape to this. There's some slightly higher lows and I guess kind of some lower highs, but I'm just seeing this as a really massive kind of rest up here. Maybe it's cleaner if we look on a 15-minute. Let's see. I guess that's a little better. That's a lot of bullish candles in a row. Wow. Okay. And then 2 bearish candles, high wave candle, inside candle, then a breakout. Yeah, this totally was breaking out of something. Broke out above 1747 and then didn't get much after hours. Some days there's more volume, but Today after hours, there just wasn't too much. I mean, there was decent volume here. It just didn't move directionally. So all of this, I'm looking for a nice continuation. I'd like to see a gap up and for it to run. If it does gap up, it could pull back to 1747 and then S curve up. But if it does something like it did over here, it's not going to give you that opportunity. It's going to just consolidate, pre-market, and then just run. And so look for opportunities, just get in bullish. Okay. All these lines are getting really annoying right now because they're just all over the place. So I should get rid of them. I always draw back in, right? Okay. There we go. I'm gonna leave that one in just because it was what I drew on the 5-minute just tonight. So keep the line in there a little longer and see if we interact with that. I didn't really set the upper line anywhere. It just happened to kind of fall in right there. So it's just interesting that it was riding the highs here, but it also caught a high there, and it was the same range of the ones I just deleted. So the width of it was the same, or is the same as what I just deleted. So it just, if you use that even as a target, again, I normally after hours is like this wide. That would mean something like that, probably like that, which means we could open up right up here like 1757. If we open up here, I mean, could we just run? Could we pull back? Yeah, any of that's possible. So we've got a little bit of resistance here at the pivot here, the pivot here. So right in that range. So maybe we get into 1760 and then we'll see what do we do from there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm picturing potentially for tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see if it actually does that or not. All right. So if you were looking for this consolidation, put a really nice base down here. Didn't have any lower wicks that took out a low. You had the low down here. And really, I wasn't even looking at this lower wick when I drew this line, but you could have been buying off that and gotten out the same 5-minute candle. So nice little hammer here, nice little hammer-ish candle here. This candle looks like it's breaking down below all of this and then immediately gets bought back up. Low volume on all of that, low volume on the breakdown. Actually, a little bit of increase in volume here from the previous like 5 candles. But really, we're looking at this being a false breakdown that then just rallies. Inverted hammer, inside candle, stair step here, and then starts getting to the bullish candles. And this wick takes out the highs here. So it's like you got a false breakdown here, false breakout here, consolidated longer, and then the squeeze actually fires right here. And that's your signal that, okay, it's going to go, or it's about to, it is going. It just hasn't started moving. Give you a great opportunity to get in bullish. So that would have been right here at 1240. Now, if you're nervous about, getting into something ahead of an announcement, today was a non-issue, but other days it can move Amazon. Some of you didn't get in here, but if you're looking at this level at 1240 and you had the opportunity to have a trade set up after 1 o'clock, I mean, it's possible you could have been filled probably the same price at this point. So let's go look at the calls. Let's look at the 1240 time on the calls. So we'll look at right here on the 1750. 1240 candle was here. Really small candle. A range of 9 cents. Are you kidding? Okay, range of 9 cents. So yeah, we're not going to trade just 9 cents, but anyway, for $9. But probably looking at the resistance over here, you're going to look for it to break out. It does that before 1 o'clock, pulls back. I could easily see a setup like 6x5 in here. You're well containing that candle. You're 10 times wider than that candle. But I think it was held down just because of the impending announcement. But anyway, 6x5. After this happens, or even getting in a little bit lower, maybe 575. And if you did 575, maybe you did 525. No, 525 is too tight. So let's just do 6x5. So if we got in 6x5, it ran all the way up to the high of the day, previous high of the day, right up here at 850. So that would have been a nice 2.5R. That's doable. I like that. And then a nice consolidation here, and this would have just been scalpable. Get in at 7, get out at 8, get in at 7, get out at 8. Do that a couple times, and it just moved quickly. Just consolidated right at 1747. Didn't see much of a breakout here. This is a nice inverted hammer. If we can get above that and just continue, yeah, we're going to trap some bears or trap whoever is selling this, whether they're selling short or selling to get out. I don't know. And then puts, I guess there was some consolidation here that broke down, retest. So let's look at like the 910 price, or maybe a little bit earlier. Because this was a really nice stair step after this candle. This should have broken bullish. It did not. But it would have run into 1747. I mean, that's just a 1-to-1 right there. So you actually probably had a better risk reward if we came back down to the open of this candle, and we did. Oh, and that's what we held. We held the open of that big candle. 1736.65. 1736.66. 1 cent off. Okay, we held the open of that candle. That's strong too. Really strong 5-minute candle. 34,370 shares. So decent volume. Yep. Okay, so let's look at your puts anywhere in here. Let's definitely look at the 910. So looking at puts, this is 1750. Those are going to be expensive. Let's go out a little bit. Let's just do 1740 because that's kind of right near the money. So here's the stair step. It breaks out at 910. 910, you're at 10 by 9 maybe? No, that would have been a little tight. Potentially getting in at 10, or you know what? Yeah, maybe you get in at 10 and 10 by 9, but no, I guess I wouldn't want to pull back all the way into 950, 946. Probably after this candle, then you do a limit buy of 10 by 9. That way you're getting in as it's breaking out, breaking past this candle. But it doesn't even make it up to 12, so it doesn't even get up to 2R. And that's what the 1740 puts. And so really your target was the open of this candle or near that. The closest you got was right here. That was at 950. So if you're in the trade from like 910 or shortly after, you're probably only in this for half an hour. And then at 950, yeah, put a high of 1190 here. So that was the closest you got to 2R. You would have just needed to scalp that. Get in at 10, get out at 11 or 1150. Just scalp it for a small gain. And then just wait for the consolidation. There was a lot of people buying and selling through here. And it just consolidated, but like I said, it did move ahead of the announcement. So, but you had a really nice long squeeze, really building up, and then it really started to go. So anyway, that's the puts, that's the calls, and we'll see if we can do something like this again. Not out of the question. Here's another pair of candles. Looks similar, and we had a bullish retest gap up through the 21. This is probably channel-wise. Let me highlight this. Channel-wise here and here. This is probably very similar. Where we kind of swoop back down, we're coming right into, we're below this, held down by this line. You got a bearish candle, bullish candle, and a gap up, and it runs right into that. So the target would be, right in here, like this one was 1750 or so. So if we get into the 21, that's right at 1760 this time. It's a little bit higher than we were over here. But then we've done it here. So this would really be the third time we're moving up from right around 1747, looking for a bullish continuation, bullish move back up. This one we had some bullish, some waning bearish momentum. This one we had a squeeze that was actually going bearish that started to decline in bearishness right after that. And then right now, can't see what's going on. Okay, we got a little bit of increasing bearishness. So it actually looks these two right here we've got smaller bearish momentum here. Now this one's still red, so it's still an increase in negative, squeeze value. So if we get a bullish move tomorrow, the next one should be yellow, and then should kind of shift and start to start to get more shallow. But yeah, it's similar. It's just shallower, and there's not as much momentum built up just because this consolidated for longer. We had the squeeze, and then we did have the move in the squeeze. So thinking back to this other one that I was comparing to, do we still look similar? We had the squeeze going there. Definitely come down and retest it. We just did it differently. This is much slower than this quick, it comes down and then rallies out of it. So this is what I would like to see. I would love to see that kind of bullish rally. If we did that, look out 18 something. We're going up here. If it does that, we're actually headed to probably back up into this area if we were to do something like that. We consolidated long enough that it could, but I don't know that it's ready to do it. All right. Anyway, yeah, a lot going on, but we'll see how this moves tomorrow. If we get some more move higher, then great. If we get a rollover, great. We'll just trade the candles as they come. So I hope this helps. This is Justin Amazon. Thanks.